The following program is produced by the Tech Talk Radio Network.
Hey, everybody, it's comedian Brad Williams, and I'll see you February 4th for my show at the Fox Theater right here in Tucson. But right now, you're listening to Tech Talk. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to another episode of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird.
And let's see, Matt and Justin are both out today. So it's just me and good old Shawn. How you doing, Shawn?
It is the holidays. People are traveling. And as you can see, if you're watching the video, it's just not my normal background or my excellent lighting.
It actually looks like you're in something from a horror film because you're in the basement, a dungeon.
I am in a unfinished Michigan dirt basement. So
yeah. Now, what is this basement used for? Is it like storage?
Oh, it's just the basement of the house. Yeah, so it's got a concrete floor and it's just used for storage.
Now, so did you have to take your computer, the camera down there, or does he have one down here? That's what you're using.
No, so this is my MacBook, so I'm just using the FaceTime camera, and this is the Wyze Gaming headset that I brought with.
Oh, good. That's pretty good, actually. Wyze makes a gaming headset. We talked about this last year, and you were pretty happy with it.
Yeah, it was worth it, in my opinion. I think they were $55, and they had the microphone is removable. It's a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, tip ring sleeve, so it does mic and so it does all that stuff. So it's removable, so you can use it just as headphones if you wanted to. They're Bluetooth. It comes with a little USB dongle that I've got plugged in. And it works fine. It sounds good, so I'm happy with it. The only thing I really didn't like about it, it doesn't have this feature which my SteelSeries Arctis 7s have, is the 2 channels of return audio from the computer. It's got 2 audio channels, so I can split game and chat. If I'm chatting in Discord and I'm playing a game, I can just reach up, flip the knob down, and kill all my game sounds, but still hear all my chat sounds, or flip it up and hear just the game sounds and no chat sounds.
But it'll generally do a mix, right? I mean, so while you're...
Yeah, it's however you've got it set. So if it's in the middle, it's split 50-50. But then you can fine-tune it. Say I'm watching a movie, but still chatting with my friends, want to hear what they have. I can turn them down, put the movie up, or turn the movie down, put them up just by adjusting it on my headset. This is just single channel. So it's everything from the computer that's being output to the headset into the headset. So I like that feature on the SteelSeries. But those were also $160. These are $55, so I can't complain too much. And it doesn't sound too bad. And it's USB-C chargeable. The battery life is good. The foam is nice and comfortable. They fit completely over my ears. So I've been very happy with them. And I bought them just over a year ago, I think.
I've looked at Logitech, which I like. I like theirs. I like SteelSeries. SteelSeries has been kind of, when it comes to gaming headsets, they've kind of been at the forefront, but the thing is, you're also going to pay money for those.
Yeah, I would say you have SteelSeries, HyperX, Turtle Beach. Those are kind of the 3 top that I come to in my mind. Logitech is in there also.
You know what's really crazy, Shawn? When you talk about sound, like say you go back 10 years ago, and you talked about computer sound, on the whether it be headphones or microphones, what is one company that you always thought of?
Soundblaster.
Yeah, you always thought of Creative Labs. And it just seems like, now when you think about it, I mean, I know Creative Labs they've got to have headsets. I know that they have, all kinds of devices for, sound cards. The sound on most motherboards is going to be fine from most people. And then if you're gaming, you're going to be wearing, a headset anyways. So it's going to be handled differently.
Yeah. Creative Labs, they have all sorts of stuff. They've got wireless earbuds, they've got internal cards, they've got USB audio cards, speakers, soundbars, webcams, audio adapters, all sorts of stuff.
I like their external cards too. Those were pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing...
Oh yeah, but when you were, back before Bluetooth and wireless were a thing, right? Everybody just had a Soundblaster card in their computer and were running a wired headphone to the audio card.
Yeah. Exactly. Soundblaster was great. I mean, they always make great products, and I'm sure they do. But it's like they don't push as much. Like if you go into the retail store shelves at Best Buy, you might be hard pressed to find Soundblaster there.
Yeah, but I think you got the people that know Soundblaster want to buy Soundblaster, right? So those people are going to search it out. They're not going to go to the brick and mortar stores to get it, or if some probably still sell it, but those people are going to search it out because they know they're going to get good quality.
Yeah. They still make great speakers too, as well. All right. Speaking of that, and I got to first off, did you have a great holiday? Was it nice?
Yeah, it's been nice. The university has been closed, so I've been off for a handful of days, and it's been nice. Just relaxing, and it's Max's first real he understands what's going on kind of Christmas.
Right.
So having him help open gifts, it's been kind of fun, and it's always fun as an adult buying for other adults, but sometimes it's hard. I buy what I want for myself, so it doesn't leave many options for other people when they buy for me.
Right.
But I held back and I didn't make a whole lot of purchases, so I got what I wanted, at least what was on my list. I didn't get everything that I wanted because I put some expensive things on there just to see who would buy it, but nobody did. But yeah, I got a couple cool things. We talked about it. We talked about our wish list a couple weeks ago on the show, and out of that wish list, I got I haven't used it yet because it's still upstairs because we just opened stuff this morning because we did our family Christmas with Caitlin's family this morning, and I got the wireless USB-C rechargeable PC duster.
Oh, you did get that. Oh, that's awesome.
So it's got a little brush on it, and you can turn up, turn down the pressure, so I can use it to clean my keyboard or dust my computer or whatever. So
now, can you do the outside? I don't know if your case is acrylic, or do you have the fan, that big huge fan on the side of your case, which if you don't do anything with it over time, you start to see the dust accumulate on the outside of that.
Yeah, I could see that one, and it's got it on the side of mine. So I've got a full flat side with just a 120 millimeter fan on the side of mine, and it's got an LED on it, so it always lights up, so I can always see how dusty it is. So I clean that one pretty regularly. I'm pretty meticulous about keeping my PC clean. I probably open it up and dust it once a month at least.
Oh wow! For me, it's been like a year.
No. Yeah, I open mine up and get in there and blow it out just with a can of air, get some dust out, because I'm in the basement, and I don't want any weird bugs to get in there or anything.
Yeah, do you have pets?
No pets, so that probably helps.
Yeah, I know if you have pets, like Justin has cats, or at least he used to have cats. I don't know if people have dogs. You'd be surprised at how much of that fur, you could be like the cleanest person too, but how much of that fur gets sucked into the computer and will just sit there and float around inside the computer. That's bad for a computer, isn't it?
Well, that type of stuff just gets caked on, and then it retains heat. So you run into, you just brings if you leave it and get dust caked on it and stuff, it just brings up the heat of the total temperature of your PC.
This vacuum I wanted to mention a brand because you mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. That was on your wish list. You had seen this and you wanted to get it, but we didn't get a manufacturer.
The ATEngus, so ATEngus.
All right.
Compressed electric cordless brushless fan.
Right.
Blower.
How much does this thing go for?
$47 for this one. I don't know which brand I got. I didn't see the brand name on it when I opened it, but I just know it's the duster, right? I just don't know what brand it is.
Now, in doing this to your computer, right? So you open it. Number one, this is important because it will, takes away some of that heat that could build up in your system if you're getting rid of all that dust. It's just not a good environment for a computer. Or
but just keep, more often than not, most users aren't opening up their computers to dust them out because not all computers are made to be opened properly or easily.
No.
So your average user is not opening up their computer. But for
me, if you've got an all-in-one
computers,
if
you've got an all-in-one or so you're not doing that.
Yeah.
But you can still keep the vents clean and stuff like that. If you need to get it clean, take it to a store, have somebody clean it, open it up.
Have you ever had this happen to you, Shawn? Since we're talking about dust and everything, you ever had like a USB drive suddenly, like you try to plug it in, it's not like making a connection, and it's like even hard to push in.
It's mostly phones.
Phones?
Have you ever pulled out a big lit dust bunny from the phone socket for your USB cord because it didn't start charging?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
So you go to plug it in, it's like, oh, my phone quit charging, my phone stinks, cable's bad. So you buy a new cable, it doesn't work. No, the batteries, my phone's screwed up.
Yeah.
And then you look in there and you just use a little toothpick or something. You pull out a huge dust bunny, and then it clicks right in, and you're ready, off to the races.
And the reason for that is because you put it maybe in your purse, you put it in your pocket, and that has a lint, and that will actually just seat nicely inside that USB drive or cord. Yeah. And then you plug it in and it's not making the connection. You have no idea why. I did have an issue though this past week and it's driving me nuts. So I have it is a King, is it a King? No, it's a SanDisk 64 gigabyte drive I've had for about maybe a year and a half. And the other day, I move a lot of files that I use for prepping and, data and stories that I need and whatnot. And the other day I went to save a file to it and it said, this is write protected. And I thought, well, that's kind of strange. I don't think there's a write protection notch on this flash drive. So I saved it locally, and then I went to the flash drive, took it out, and I'm looking at it. I'm moving flash back and forth, and plug it back in, and it shows files. Try to move a file to it, write protected. I thought, well, that's kind of strange. I tried to delete a file that was on that drive. Can't do it. Write protected. So I'm like up in a tizzy going, what the heck is going on here with this flash drive? Luckily it hasn't, deleted any data from it. So I copied all the data off of it onto another folder that I created on a local drive. And then I tried to find my Acronis disk director, but it turns out I had a demo on that one, so I couldn't try and partition. So I tried Partition Manager. I tried, the tools that are a part of Windows. Can't even partition it. Can't format it. Can't do anything with it. And so I got in touch with SanDisk tech support, and SanDisk is really good. I love their products, but I got tech support, and finally, the guy said, well, yeah, your drive's defective. What you need to do is send it in to us and with a receipt, and he sent me paperwork. And I'm thinking, am I going to go through all of this for an $8 drive? So it's $8 or $9 for a 64 gigabyte or, drive. And I just thought, and then you can't delete anything off the drive. So you're sending any documents that you have on the drive to them. So I'm thinking I want to find a tool that is a partition manager tool that maybe is better than the Windows, the Windows tool that you get with Windows 10 or 11, and see if I can do it that way. So I know that there's, Acronis doesn't even make, I guess, disk director anymore. But I'm sure that there's some tools out there for doing this kind of thing where you could, partition a drive and maybe even have better ability to go ahead and do that. Have you heard of anything like that?
The only one that I've really ever had to use, I usually just mostly use Disk Manager or Disk Utility
right
for Mac, or Disk Manager for Windows, because you can just do it all via command line or terminal. It's pretty easy if you know what you're doing, or you can just find a guide online. But the one that I found that I've used previously in the past in a pinch was Partition Wizard.
Oh, yeah, I have heard of that. Boy, that's going back, though.
So, but that's a free one. I'm sure there's other tools out there. And if you're looking for this kind of stuff, I'm gonna shout out a subreddit. Data Recovery is a subreddit that I'm a part of. And they have a lot of great tools that are on their sidebar. So if you just want to quickly, or if you have a drive that you're trying to get some stuff off, just go check that out, because they've got a huge list of resources on there.
Justin had sent us a picture this week. I don't know if you saw that, called a spider board. And I didn't understand. I've never seen a spider board before, but they took a USB flash drive or hard drive, basically, that was or an SSD, and they took it apart, and they were able to actually, using the spider board, wire it so that it could work again, or they could get data off of it.
Yeah, it's the spider board's unique because it's got these really fine tip pins that you can drop on a circuit board and put them in the right order, so you could just basically have your wires, being the spider board, work as the cables for the USB drive by just powering the USB, because they had the power for the USB. You saw those two on there.
Yeah.
And they had everything else connected via the spider board, and it worked. But that's some crazy physical level hacking. That's
what I was thinking.
I mean, that's like if you have state secrets or nuclear secrets on there and you need them off, right? You're not doing that just for pictures of your grandma.
Right. But you see, this is the whole thing, too. This actually shows you why you don't want to take a USB drive that suddenly stopped working, that's $8, chuck it in the trash. Because think about it, stuff is going to be recoverable. I am able to recover stuff. I have software, great software, that I can recover stuff after it's been formatted and partitioned. So, I mean, that stuff is out there. So if you have this thing, you just think, oh, this drive's not working anymore. Maybe the USB tip broke off, or you broke it off purposely. Stuff could still possibly be recovered.
Oh yeah, it's physical security is it's not usually the not usually the IT or the network problem that causes hacks.
Yeah.
It's the human element.
Yeah.
It's the physical security of the human between the network. All it takes is for you to be social engineered to get a critical piece of information to get your password. You take a thumb drive you found out on the street, you plug it into your computer. I think we talk about this once a year, at least, if not every 6 months. Is like when you're traveling, when you're going to places, hotels, everywhere now has USB ports for plugging in your phones, charging your computers, yada yada yada. If you watch DEF CON or DreamHack or any of those places that are the havens for hacker conventions and stuff,
right?
They will tell you that if you plug in your USB device, your computer, your phone into a public USB port, likely your data is getting stripped.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
Or if somebody hands you, hey, I need to borrow a phone charger. I see you have an iPhone. Can I borrow your phone charger? Well, here's this special phone charger that as soon as you plug it in, it copies all your data off your phone and wirelessly transmits it to me. Like, it's crazy the level of technology that people can like. So don't plug in USB cables you don't know. Don't plug in USB sticks you don't know. When you're traveling at the airport, use a power brick or use a rechargeable battery. Don't plug them into your hotels. Like, like, hey, the nightstand, there's 2 USBs on the nightstand. Great. I got to charge my watch. I got to charge my phone. Boop, boop. There's my data gone. You never know.
Yeah. Take a power brick with you. That's your own cable. If you're going to be staying in a hotel that you can actually control rather than doing something like that.
That's being like crazy level, like paranoid about stuff, but you never know, right?
Yeah.
You never know who's hotwired a USB port or created a fake USB port just to see who plugs in.
When we spoke with Kim Crawley about, the difference between a hacker and a cyber criminal, there's kind of a gray line there. I mean, I think she explained it pretty good in the book. Hackers have been around for many years. They find ways to make things better. And in some cases, it's ways to make security better. We found out about some of these things because people were hacking or using that and saying, wait a minute, you don't want to do this because this could happen to you if you plugged into, say, a lamp, socket with a USB. Who knows who put it in there?
Yeah, and it's just like with the world of the Internet of Things, right? There are billions and billions of devices connected to the Internet. Billions of devices connected to the Internet.
Hey, Carl Sagan.
Yeah, it's just crazy how connected the world is, and there are resources, and I'm not going to bring them up here but you can find them just quick Googling or using Tor on the dark web to find websites that will scour the Internet and provide you links to unprotected webcams, unprotected devices, unprotected everything. You can just browse them at your leisure.
Yeah.
Because they're open. And it's not anybody's fault except for the user who either didn't protect it properly, didn't change the admin password, didn't change the IP address or whatever, didn't protect themselves. And it's just the level of availability for some of this stuff is crazy. So it's like just a little bit of know-how and some security, like you can protect yourself pretty quickly, but that's going to bring me around to if you have any Ubiquiti Unify devices,
right?
Ubiquiti had quite a large, I don't think they want to call it a hack, but a misconfiguration. that allowed, say you and I both had Unify devices.
All right.
And you logged in, you might have seen my devices.
Wait, so I log into my device and I'm going to suddenly see.
So it's their web portal, right? It's their.
Right. So I can see it listed in my portal list.
So
oh, wow.
I would log in and to the Unify portal, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing up to 80 devices that aren't mine that I could get into, configure, update, turn off, restart, whatever. But then as soon as you refresh your browser, it had something to do with caching or something within the user credentials. But Ubiquiti was able to fix it. So the company admitted that they had a misconfiguration with its cloud infrastructure, which allowed some of its customers to watch footage from strangers' security cameras.
Oh, boy.
So now this may not sound too unfamiliar because Wyze had the same problem.
Mm-hmm. Was there Series 1, right?
No. This was their web portal. So
Oh, okay.
The Wyze web portal. You can go to wyze.com / I think it's live, and you can view all of your cameras on the web. So if I logged in, I might have seen your cameras. If you logged in, you might have seen my cameras just for a brief second. But they were able to identify that only so many people, like 30 users or whatever, were able to experience this problem. But then they were able to fix it. But it had to be something along the same lines of credential caching or web caching for the portal. So it's interesting that this issue came up, but with a much larger worldwide security firm.
Yeah, Ubiquity is pretty big. I know Broadway, who's on the show once in a while, he uses Ubiquity, and they make all kinds of products. But again, that's not good because again, it makes you question the security of the device that you're using or the portal.
Yeah. So Ubiquity says 1,216 accounts were affected. So only out of millions of customers, only this many, a drop in the bucket were affected. But
yeah, but if you're that one customer,
right? But it's like, really, was it just? I mean, it's that kind of like transparency. Really, was it just that many accounts, or like? I feel like an issue like that would be a little bit more widespread. But I'm not a security researcher, so I don't know. But
I don't want our listeners, that are listening, maybe have different varied levels of expertise when it comes to your devices, securing them. You may have had, your son or somebody come over and hook up your router to your home because you wanted Wi-Fi, you wanted to have a doorbell cam, and maybe you're afraid of touching that. I don't want you to be afraid of what is out there, but you should always know some of this stuff that's going on with, or maybe you don't have a Ubiquity account, but you may have an Xfinity account, and Xfinity also suffered a major breach just recently, and they were, doing the credit protection, the whole bit. And in that breach, you had partials on socials, you had addresses, you had email accounts, you had, I believe, hashed passwords, you had all of this stuff that went out. And the problem is, if somebody wants to target you in particular, and they're able to get this hash of information and buy it on the dark web, and have this, the thing is, you have to realize that you're going to get an increase in, the spam or the email, and some of this email is going to look really good because they can see what your email. So who's your email coming from? Who do you have an account with? Oh, you got an account with Capital One Bank, or you got an account with American Express. Oh, because they've got that. They might even see the last 4 years of a credit card, and you might get that.
So here on the Washington Post, the article says that the company concluded that the information included usernames, hashed passwords, and for some customers, the last 4 digits of their social, account security question answers, birth dates, and contact information. So you can do a lot with that information to social engineer somebody.
Yeah, and what that means is you focus on that person and you use other methods to try and get more information to be able to do a complete hack or, again,
Yeah, I mean, with that information, you could call Xfinity, get in, say, hey, I'm Shawn DeWeird. Oh, yeah, what's the last 4 digits of your social? Here it is. Okay, cool. What do you want to do? Mm-hmm. Well, I want to change my account plan. I want to change my password. I want to do all this. They don't know that they're not really talking to me.
Right. Exactly.
But with that information, it's just, that's the level of where we're at, right? It's like with the Internet of Things and just being so connected, this is just the reality of the world. This is going to continue to happen, and it's going to become more sophisticated.
Well, do you think people are more safe? And everybody on the show here uses a password manager. Do you feel that we're safer when we do that?
Yeah, a little bit. It's managing it so that Google's not storing my data. It's not, I'm keeping it local to my machine versus storing it on Google Drive or within a Chrome browser. Because I don't save my passwords within Chrome anymore, just because the way our work handles management. If you stay logged in, other people can see your passwords and stuff. So I've been either using incognito windows or just using a different browser or whatever. But I don't store anything within Chrome anymore, so I don't save my passwords in Chrome. I don't, so I'm always typing in my passwords, or I'm using the links from OnePass. It's a little safer, but
it's not the end all.
It's just if there's an issue that, like, my browser gets hijacked or something, they're not going to find anything within Chrome, which they would have to dig deeper or get access to my machine or whatever. But, it's like you have people that are saying, oh, my data's already out there, so why does it matter?
Right.
Well, because if you don't care, there's not going to be any regulation changes to make it better in the future.
All right, here's a question for you, Shawn. Tell me what happens when you do this. And I think a lot of us have gone through that. You're on the web. You type in a web address, but you mistype a couple of letters. You're close, but no cigar. And you go to a website that looks real blank and plain, and all of a sudden you start getting the pop-ups. And the pop-ups are telling you that your system has been, frozen for this and that and this and that. What's the safest thing to do? You can't find a way to shut it down.
Kill your computer with the power button. Just hold it down.
Just hold it and turn it off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just turn it off. If
Right.
if you feel like your machine's been compromised, yank out the network cable or turn it off. If you're hardwired, just get it off the internet.
When you yank out, means unplug it.
Yeah, or yank it. I mean,
yeah.
depends on how bad you think it's going to be.
Yes.
No, you just shutting off your computer and then trying to isolate it from the network. You can still turn your computer on and run diagnostics and run antivirus or run a scan or whatever however you want to do it. But just if you feel like your machine has been compromised, don't turn it back on and try and connect to the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't connect it to your home Wi-Fi, because if your security settings on your computer allow your data to be shared across your home network, your private network, then all of a sudden your sister's computer could be compromised, or your dad's computer, or your phone, or who knows what the level of attack was. But it's just isolating it, taking it to a repair center, somebody that maybe knows a little bit more about computers, and just trying to diagnose the problem without being connected to the internet or on a network.
Yeah, the other thing too is if you're trying to shut down, you may not be able to shut down. I've seen some of these attacks that happen this way, and honestly, for people who don't know, you can just hold the power button until your computer shuts off, and then unplug that, get that cable unplugged, definitely, and walk away for a little bit. Some people will tend to just want to log back on and keep the network cable plugged in, thinking that's going to fix it, and that may not fix it. We got to take a quick break. We come back. We've got more stuff to talk about. I wanted an Apple Watch for Christmas, and it looks like I may not be able to get one because, well, they've been told they can't sell them in the U.S. So we'll tell you more about that coming up. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeerd. Find us on the web at techtalkradio.com.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
So if you were hoping for an Apple Watch for Christmas,
yes, that would be me.
It wasn't going to be the Series 9 or the Ultra 2.
Now these are the latest in technology for Apple Watch. I mean, there's other Apple Watches.
These were released earlier. I think in September maybe. They've been on sale for a while, but as of December 26, 2023, import and U.S. sales of some Apple Watches were officially banned because there is a lawsuit saying that Micimo,
right,
is a U.S. tech company, and the U.S. International Trade Commission ruled in October that Apple had infringed on their patent.
And this was for blood oxygen, right? For reading the blood oxygen level?
Yeah, so it is for their Micimo. The ban comes amid a legal dispute with Micimo over the blood oxygen technology that they have in their watches.
Oh.
And Micimo claims that Apple took employees, stole trade secrets, and infringed on patents related to its pulse oximetry technology.
And that's the thing about Apple Watches too. They're great. I mean, they're great because they do a lot of things. There's some cool apps. But the other thing that people have been saying that they really like about them is the fact that they can kind of monitor your health. They can monitor your heartbeat. If you have tachycardia or AFib, it can actually monitor how your heart is doing, and it will alert you when you're either in tach or AFib as well. So
I have the Series 8. So I got it for my birthday this year. Caitlin got it for me for my birthday this year. I had the Series 3 before that.
Right.
And it has some of that technology, and it's kind of cool because it can just track. It'll tell you like, hey, your heart rate that abnormally high today. It's like, cool. I can track my anxiety throughout the day because it tells me when my heart rate goes up.
Right.
but it doesn't have this newer technology like the 9 or the Ultra 2. So, but it's only not available in the U.S. because those patents are apparently or only if, impacted the U.S. So they're still available outside of the U.S. in Italy and a couple other places that this article says.
There's the other codicil to that too is that they are not available in Apple Store. They got pulled from Apple stores. However, Best Buy, Target, Walmart, anywhere else that they sell the Apple Watch products may have them, and they are still able to sell them.
Correct. Yeah, I don't exactly know what exactly.
But no more are going to come in. You're not going to like what they could sell what they have, and then that will be it.
Yeah. So I mean, and it's not a small amount of money that Apple brings in. According to this Forbes article I'm scrubbing through, is in the third quarter of 2023, Apple wearables, home, and accessories brought in $8.28 billion for Apple.
$1 billion. Wow.
Billion.
Wow.
So it's not a small amount. If you were looking, it's not a small amount. I mean, do you think they did it on the 26th to wait so people could buy them for Christmas? Of course they did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Of course. Yeah.
So they just didn't want to absolutely cause chaos with Apple Watches and returns and all this crazy stuff. So yeah, it's just the newer ones. So anything without the technology, right, without that MySimo patent and technology, aren't affected. So, but it's crazy for MySimo, this tech company, to take on Apple and actually get the U.S. to ban imports and sales of these watches.
I know Apple has gone to the Biden administration and actually said, "Can you step in?" And they said no. They're not going to step in on this, and they've been basically banned from doing this. So we'll have to see how it plays out.
See how that pans out. But this is, as of the recording of the show, which is on the 26th, that happened today. While we're recording the show, it happened this morning. So that ban went into effect the day we recorded the show.
So I'm wondering though, speaking about Apple wearables, I wanted the Apple Watch for Christmas. I didn't get it, but I've been thinking about the Apple. And I always call them wrong. I call them earpods. Is that basically it, or is it AirPods? What do you call them? Right?
They're called the Apple AirPods, and they have the non-Pro version and the Pro version, and I think they're on Series 2 of the Pro versions.
Right, and the difference in price. So the Pro version is $199, is what I saw. I did see another version another Pro for $249. So that's probably about the regular retail price.
So the benefit of the Pro version is it includes noise canceling.
Okay.
So I got these as an early Christmas present this year for me.
Right.
And because I like wearing my earbuds at work when I'm going in and out working with equipment, I can get my hands free when I'm talking on the phone troubleshooting, and they're awesome.
Really? All right.
The battery life is incredible. The sound quality is incredible. The noise canceling is phenomenal. If you have a relatively quiet environment with some white noise and stuff, it just kills all that white noise. It's fantastic. So I keep them in almost all day just to kill out some of that white noise. But the battery, it's usually a day's worth of working I can get out of before I have to drop back in the case and charge them again.
Now the stem on the Pro. And if you've ever seen an AirPod, you'll see it has like the white piece that goes into the ear canal, and then you've got this little stem that comes out. It seems like the stem on the Pro version is a little shorter.
It is a little shorter, and it's a little more rounder just because of the technology difference between the non-Pros and the Pros, right? They have to have the space for the noise canceling, the active noise canceling, the drivers. There's some differences, but they're different in size and shape, but it's just you're paying for what you get, right? If you're not buying the Pro version, you're not getting some of the noise canceling functions. But I've been very happy with the AirPods.
Now, what about comfort? Because so I have, and I like them. I got Skull Candy, and I've got Jabra. The Jabras I've always loved. I've used those in TV. When we were doing a remote, I would call in on the phone and we would do the video back and forth. But I like those. But they would tend to fall out once in a while.
So with the AirPod Pros, I got 4 different sizes of removable silicone cups you can put on.
They come with it?
Yes.
Oh, cool. All right.
Mine did. I mean, I'm sure I got just bought them from Apple, so I'm sure they came with it. So I had to go through and went, nope, these are too small. They fell out too easy. Nope, these ones are too big. They didn't fit. You can definitely feel. And then I went with one step down from the largest size, and then they fit fine. Now, I'm not sure if I just have weird ears, but if I'm going around, I'll notice, it's gonna slip out, and then it falls out of my ear, and I have to try and catch it awkwardly, right? It's
Right.
So they don't always fit in my ears super well, but for the most part, they stay in 90% of the time I'm wearing them. Maybe that 10% where I turn my head too funny, or I've been talking a bunch and moving my jaw, and they've worked themselves out, and you can usually feel that. But I've not had an issue with them fitting comfortably.
Right. And what about in phone calls? You're having a phone conversation with somebody. Has anybody ever said, I can't hear you? Or, is it pretty clear?
No, it's pretty clear. It's in our equipment room at work, when we're in with all the coolers and the fans blowing and stuff, it does a good job of canceling incoming noise also, not just outgoing. They can hear me more clear, and I can hear them more clearly when I'm in a louder environment. But what I like about it is that if I sit at my computer and I start doing something on my computer, it recognizes them on my computer and will send the audio to my earbuds.
Oh, really? Ooh, that's kind of cool.
I pick up my phone and walk away from my computer and take a phone call. Boop, boop, boop. It moves them right to my AirPods.
Nice.
So seamless transition between the MacBook, an AirPod, my phone, an iPad. You can do that all seamlessly just by quickly changing your audio settings by going, I want to go to my AirPods, and it'll sync up to multiple devices. And that's all through iCloud.
One of the other things I did like about those, Shawn, is so I got, and I don't know if you got one. This was on your wish list, the Belkin 3-in-1. So it's a charging stand where you can MagSafe charge your iPhone, MagSafe charge your actual watch, and if you've got an iWatch, and then you can actually MagSafe the carrying case for your buds, which is pretty cool, all in one from that Belkin device.
Yeah, that was on my list of things that I wanted. And it was an all-in-one stand where you drop you just set your phone on it, charges your phone. You set your AirPods case on it, it charges, and you put your watch on it, and it charges. And then if you needed to, you could charge another USB device on it as well. But so right now, I just have a Belkin single charger for my phone. I drop it on, and I just plug the AirPod case in USB-C, and it charges just fine.
Right. So you didn't get it for Christmas.
No, I did not get it for Christmas.
Sorry about that. All right, we're going to take another quick break. We come back with more of Tech Talk Radio. There's more tech to talk about. If you ever have a question for us, you can drop us an email, techguys@techtalkradio.com. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird. Find us on X, Tech Talk Radio.
Now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
Hi, this is Colin Mockery of Whose Line Is It Anyway? You're listening to Tech Talk Radio. I don't know how it works. It's all magical stuff to me.
Saw a really cool article this week, Shawn, about something that some of our older listeners may go through. And, we talked earlier about headphones, some great headphones that are out there, whether it be HyperX, SteelSeries, you've got the Wyze ones, Logitech. But it comes to watching television and being able to hear it, because some of the TVs there are TVs that come out in the market that may have a pretty good screen size, yet the audio quality on them is not that great. And sometimes it's hard. I've had people tell me it's hard to hear their TV, and I'll say, what kind of TV? They 50-inch, Sony TV. And I'll think, how could you not hear that? But there are some cases where the TV sound is not that great. CNET put together a really good article, and I wanted to just give them props for that, about how to use these fixes to actually make dialogue more audible on your TV, because it happens. Now, some people have asked me when it comes to TV audio, if they want to get it, get better sound, be able to understand it, should they go out and get themselves a sound bar? And, sound bars are great, but it's like being in a movie theater. If your problem is hearing the dialogue, what you're getting with a sound bar is more an amplification of the music, the sound effects, all of that combined. It still may not be sharp enough for you to get all of the dialogue on there. So take a look at this article, because that will kind of go into better detail. Have you run across this at all?
Oh, yeah. So streaming apps are terrible about this. is about loudness metering, and going between YouTube TV, Disney Plus, Netflix. They all have different ranges of volume.
Netflix, I know, was kind of one of the first, I think, to really work on this and make this technology available for somebody maybe that is a little harder of hearing or has trouble with the dialogue. They did a lot to kind of clean that up.
Yeah, accessibility. Like we've talked about this, and the university at Notre Dame, we're doing a big push on in the classrooms is about accessibility in the classroom at a digital level.
Yeah.
So accessibility across all platforms is not equal. It's not equitable. So it's hard to make a platform and then know how to be accessible to everyone. So it's just that it's not just you and me. The whole world has to be accessible to this. So it's hard for a manufacturer to conform to a standard when there are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of different applications that have to use this that may change their settings based on user preference.
Right. People sometimes get so frustrated. And like you said,
but I will go ahead.
Oh, like you said, it kind of goes between the streaming services too. I mean, network television, you watch it. Okay. Then you decide, okay, I want to watch something on, and you may have come across this too on the volume levels. You're watching network television, or maybe you're watching a streaming service like Disney Plus or Paramount Plus, and then you go back to your television is blaring because you had to turn it up just to be able to hear the sound, and it's just pushed at different levels.
Yeah. So that there is a mandated loudness level that has to be met by broadcast television standards now. So there's actually equipment in most TV stations that will bring volume levels up and down based on their loudness, if it's up or over, and then you can get fined if your programming exceeds that and has to be brought down by this hardware. But I will say that if you own a Roku TV and you download the Roku app on your phone,
okay,
you can get personal audio delivered from your TV to your phone.
To your phone.
So if I'm watching TV, say Caitlin's on her computer doing work.
All right.
And I'm sitting in the living room on the couch and I want to watch a show. I open up the Roku app on my phone, say, give me personalized audio, and it'll play audio out of my phone.
Nice. So if you're wearing your earbuds, you've got that then like going into your headphones.
Yep. It goes from your over the network. You have to be connected to the same network as your TV. But yeah, I've done it where I put on my Wyze Bluetooth noise canceling earbuds that I have, or no, headphones that I have, and have walked around the house doing chores while there's a movie been playing on the TV.
So you're not missing anything. That's kind of cool.
Well, you walk through the living room, stop and watch for a second, walk through it, but you can still hear everything. But it's not playing out of the TV anymore. So it's not playing in the room. So I'm not interrupting anybody else. I'm not interrupting Caitlin if she's doing work so if you own a Roku TV, I highly recommend you downloading the app because it also uses your phone as a remote.
Now, how about a Roku stick? So if you're maybe it's not a Roku TV, but maybe a Roku stick that you're watching, streaming content on. Can you do the same thing, I guess?
I don't know. I don't have a Roku stick. I just have the Roku TV, so I don't know.
Right. I kind of wonder how that would work. But that's actually a pretty good idea because Roku TVs aren't that bad, are they? I mean,
no. We bought. This is our second Roku TV that we've owned. We owned a 35-inch before we moved out of our apartment, and I think we have the 65-inch now, and it's been fantastic.
Right. I remember when TVs would last 20 years, though. Boy, I sound old when I say that, don't I?
So I'm trying to think. So the first LCD TV that I bought,
right?
I bought it for Christmas 2010.
Right.
It was a TCL.
Oh gosh, yeah.
32-inch 720p.
Right.
TV, and I still have it and use it in the basement.
Mine was ViewSonic, and it still works. When ViewSonic made televisions, yeah. That was
it still works, and I use it. I have it set up for my retro gaming system, so I've got my Nintendo and stuff plugged in because it actually has AV in.
Oh, cool!
So it's got two HDMI, an AV in, composite in, component in, and I think that's it.
All right, question for you. Speaking of gaming, a couple weeks ago, something you had done got you banned from playing one of your favorite games. how did you number one? How did you handle it? Because I mean, I play this game on my phone a lot, and if I got banned, I'd be disappointed.
So I play a lot of World of Warcraft, and I have been playing since 2005.
Right.
And they released new content for the classic version of the game called Season of Discovery. And if you know what happened, if you're listening and you play World of Warcraft, or you know somebody that plays World of Warcraft, you can ask them about it. There was a big ban wave that went through it and impacted a lot of people that, yes, they violated the terms of service by participating in the buying and selling of gold within the game, which violates the terms of service.
Because they give you a one-up on playing the game. It's just like an added benefit, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there was this massive ban wave that banned tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of accounts across World of Warcraft. And I got caught in that. Because I'd been playing it. How did they let you know? Did you get a pop-up or did you get an email? Well, if you listen to the recording of that show from 2 weeks ago, it happened while we were on the show.
Oh, wow. Oh, that I didn't know.
Because right at the end of the show, I was logging in to play because I was going to play after we recorded the show. And it disconnected me, and I was like, oh, I just got disconnected. I logged back in, it's like, your account has been suspended for 14 days. You're violating terms of service, yada, yada, yada. So if you go back and listen to the end of that show, because it's funny, because you could probably hear me like, my voice probably changed in pitch. I was like probably mad. I might not have talked for the last 20 minutes of the show. I don't remember.
Yeah, you were quiet.
But those 14 days were up today. So once we're done recording, I'm going to check back in, log back in, see if everything's good. But
now, will you have the stuff that you had before the ban? You don't know. Oh my gosh.
Don't know. They said we've taken action against your account. We're going to take back the items that you bought with the gold that you got and all this stuff. So it wasn't a significant amount of gold, right? It was a very small amount, but according to the Reddit threads and the forum posts and stuff, it didn't matter if you bought 1 gold or 20,000 gold, right? You got caught up in it. And so I learned my lesson, because I would be devastated if I lost my account of 2005 to now. All of that character progression across all those years and all that. So learned my lesson. But it is what it is. If you know what I'm talking about, you kind of understand my frustration with that whole thing.
All right, so I'm wondering, in the meantime, do you have another game that so here you are, you can't play this one, and you get free time in your hand. Is there another game that maybe you jump to?
Yeah, so I've been playing Overwatch 2. I played some more Baldur's Gate 3, which has been fantastic. I actually worked on some video projects I needed to get done.
Work? What's that?
Yeah, work. I just downloaded a new game called Wrecked. It's a demolition derby, crash 'em up game. And then I've been playing a ghost hunting game called Phasmophobia with some friends of mine, which is a really fun game if you're into horror games.
Oh, cool.
You have to go into old buildings and hunt out the ghosts, and then you have to track them down, and it's really fun. But so I've been supplementing my time with other games. So it's not the end of the world.
I've been contemplating of getting the Game Pass because I had it at one time, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's time to get that all set up again and start to just have some fun. Maybe take an hour and play a game. And I was looking at that. I was also looking at Epic, and so I wanted our listeners to know, if you go to store.epicgames.com, they have some free game content that is in there. They usually do this around this time of the year to get you ready for the new year. You may find some there to play just this weekend that are going to be a lot of fun. My daughter has been a big fan of Sims, and they had Sims Pets that were available. And I'm talking free. They were doing that. They've got Red Dead Redemption 2. If you wanted to play that, if you wanted to play it a couple years ago, it was like $60, $70. Now you can get it for $20. And again, you can find that at store.epicgames.com. They list free games in there as well. But
yeah, you can always find most of the major game providers, Epic, Apple, Activision, EA. They always have these, store sales or free, sometimes free, just to try and get you in to buy it and hopefully play those games and then play more games on their platforms. But Steam always has good sales. around this time of the year. So
I'll tell you, one of the things that blew me away the other day was a demo. If you haven't seen it yet, you can find it on YouTube for the new updates that they've done with Microsoft Flight Simulator. And if you think about it, it's kind of sad because Microsoft Flight Simulator went away for years. It was gone for a long time. Maybe 5 years, 6 years.
I don't remember. I think 2012 was the last one, and then 2020 was back.
Yeah, it was like they just kind of, well, okay, it's out there. But the changes they made were pretty dynamic. And now the graphics, if you've not seen it since 2012 or even some of the earlier days, I remember playing it on DOS. That's how far back I go with Flight Sim. It's pretty amazing when you see what they've done with it right now. And that's one you can play with the Microsoft Game Pass. What was it? It was, what is that one website I've gone to? I've bought Office off of there, and I've bought Windows 11, Stack Social. Stack Social.
Keys.
Yeah, they had a 1 month subscription to Game Pass, I think for under $8. So you just to get in there, it's been $8. You get in there for a month and try it and see if you like it. And if you do, then it goes to what, $15-$16 a month. So it seemed like that would be probably worth it.
What year do you think the first Microsoft Flight Simulator released?
I am going to say 1995.
1986.
Are you kidding me? 86. What platform was it on?
I don't know, but they.
You know what?
The series began in 1982.
That's right. That would make sense because so my mom's boss, may he rest in peace. My mom bought an airplane with him. They went, and the goal was I was going to get my pilot's license. They bought a Citabria, and I would go up with him, and we would fly, and he would do loop the loops, and he would do all that kind of stuff. But he had Flight Simulator in his office, so that would have been in the early 80s, maybe 82. Wait, what year did you say? 82, 83?
86, 82, 86.
Yeah, she stopped working for him in 83, but he had a DOS version. It was like yellow, like a wireframe almost. But if he needed to, he could hit an escape button and a spreadsheet would come up. So if you were at work, and it wasn't Microsoft that made it. It was another
Amiga.
It was another company. Was it Amiga? I think it might have been something else. I want to say Apogee or something like that. But I know that they kind of changed hands, and then when Microsoft took them over, they took it to a whole new level.
Yeah, and I was wrong. 2012 was not the most recent. It was 2006 was the last flight sim that was out before 2019.
Wow, yeah, they had let it go for many years. It was still fun to fly back then, but what you get now it's pretty amazing.
It's incredible,
yeah.
And you can do it in VR, and it's awesome.
All right, we take another quick break. Come back with more of Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
I'm Shawn DeWeird. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/TechTalkers.
And now, back to Tech Talk Radio.
So we've been talking about Flight Simulator the last segment there, and just reminded me of a website that I love using called ATSBexchange.com.
No, what is it?
ATSB Exchange. So ATSBexchange.com is a flight tracking website. Literally a beacon. Most airplanes have what they call an ADSB transmitter that transmits the location, speed, data, reference information, name, all that stuff. This guy created this website that put these ADSB sensors around the world. He will literally send you a kit so you can put one at your house and connect it to the internet. And then you can go to this website and literally track planes around the world.
Wow. So if a plane is taking off right now in Brussels, I can actually see this plane taking off. Yeah.
So you can literally go to this website, go to the map, and you can see every flight that is being picked up by an ADSB receiver.
Now, can you do it? Can you do it by tail number?
You can do it by tail number. You can just click out of one. You can just, hey, there's a plane flying overhead. Go to it on your phone, pull it up, and say, oh, yep, here's my location. Oh, yep, there's a plane. Boop, and then you can see where it is, where it came from. It's if it's registered a flight plan, where it's landing, how long it's been in the air, registration, all this stuff.
Is this going to be a little better than Flight Tracker? Because that's another app, or Flight Aware.
Flight Aware, they're all kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But this one, just from a UI standpoint, from a user experience standpoint, it just is so much better. And go to this website, check it out, and your mind will be blown at how many airplanes are actually in the air right now.
Oh, it's kind of crazy, especially around this time of the year too. This weekend people are going to be flying back.
Christmas, there are. I mean, it's insane.
All right, so what is the website address again?
Globe, like the word globe.adsbexchange.com.
Awesome. Well,
I'm going to take a screen. I'm going to take a screenshot so Andy can post this, so you can just see what's over the U.S.
Put it on our blog site. That'd be cool. All right, that's it for this week's Tech Talk Radio, last show of the year. Sorry the other guys couldn't join us, but we'll be back hopefully next week with more technology. If you have questions, email us, techguys@techtalkradio.com. Happy New Year to you, Shawn.
Yep, Happy New Year to you. Hope you all had a great holiday. We'll talk to you next week.